Federation of Unions of South Africa, FEDUSA, wants government to come up with a clear and urgent leadership when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution. Now, this revolution is seeing the replacement of manual tasks by digitized and automated processes. FEDUSA says it wants government to ensure training and reskilling of workers to ensure that jobs are not threatening. Well, to tell us more about this call, we're joined in the studio by the union's president, Godfrey Silomatsela. And Silomatsela, good morning. Thank you very much for coming through. May I say Happy Workers' Day?
Thank you. Happy Workers' Day too.
At least you are working, you see. So
yeah.
you are not away. We appreciate you coming through. The fourth industrial revolution, I mean, is underway.
Yes.
It's nothing that is something that started yesterday. Even some government ministers in parliament have been talking about it in relation to other sectors. In your view, as FEDUSA, you think government needs to have a coherent strategy currently. That means it doesn't exist.
Yes. Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to thank you for inviting FEDUSA to the studio. But equally so, let me congratulate the workers out there on this May Day celebration. Yes, as FEDUSA, we are of the view that it is the government, especially the Department of Labour, that must take the lead in ensuring that they come up with strategy, of course working in relationship with the workers to ensure that whatever we bring on the table would mitigate and make sure that workers do not lose their work. You would understand that anything that comes anew have an impact on those that have been working, more so that as we talk about digitalization, it does in a way affect those people that have been in the market for some time, because the level of education for those that were there then and now is quite different. So our understanding is that we have a responsibility to ensure that our government, through the Department of Labour, takes the lead in coming up with, legislation that assists in the skilling of workers, so that employers should not do things willy-nilly.
So if you want the Department of Labour to be involved, are you foreseeing a situation where legislation itself, labour legislation itself, skills development legislation would have to change?
Yes, our view is that it does not have to change completely. It just needs to be amended.
So aspects of it need to be changed to accommodate the fact that we are now living in a world that's technologically advanced.
Correct. Just to give you an example, if you look at it now, our legislation does accommodate that employers must be able to, train workers. But we are saying that because the workers are already in employment and technology is caught up with us, we need to ensure that in the legislation that we currently have, we amend it so much that it accommodates the training of the workers. Taking it further, it is also our view that our trade unions in whatever companies, in their bargaining councils, they need to revise their collective agreements so that it actually cater for reskilling and training of workers.
Would this be a sectoral approach in your view? I'm asking this because if you think about it, there are still sectors that will require manual labor. Yes. Certain roles, functions rather, yes, that require a person to be there. There are those that can be digitized.
Yes.
Like in the financial services sector,
yes,
I think recently Standard Bank announced that
1,200
1,200 workers are going to be losing jobs, yes, or replaced or redeployed, whatever, because of the digitization process. Now, banks would tend to go towards more the technology for all kinds of reasons. So are you calling for a sectoral approach, or you want a blanket approach?
No, we want, a general approach. We would have sectoral approaches, because as you rightfully indicated that the different sectors would have, different dynamics and challenges. Mm. Just to give you an example that you have just given to us to say, the Standard Bank has already closed 91 branches, 1,200 people are actually involved in the retrenchment. So our understanding is that if you come up with a reskilling program, you must also ensure that at collective bargaining level, you allow, sectors, to come up with agreements that are sector specific, because then they will address sector specific things. Further to that, we are calling on our trade unions to say, in whatever sector they find themselves in, they must start engaging with their employers so much that it assists them to open the question of reskilling of their workers.
Are you not late, number one, because technological advances have been coming for some time, as from a producer perspective, in terms of representing the interests of your workers? Shouldn't you have been making such calls, such requests or demands earlier on? That's number one. The reason I'm asking this is because already we know that, according to the international organizations, about half the jobs as we've known them in the developing world, and we are in the developing world, are susceptible to automation. And that as we move towards 2020, 2030, the pace is picking up.
Look, I agree with you. As FEDUSA, I think from 2016, we'd already started engaging employers, because what I also want to bring to attention, we are also affiliated to our international organizations, that as when this thing started already, we were brought on board in terms of understanding that these things would actually be taking course. And it is for that reason that we have started already, but you know, the pace at which these things has been happening is such that it was not as expected. But we believe that we'll be able to make a difference as we are continuing to work with our colleagues in this regard. Provided
there's a national coherent and comprehensive strategy.
Okay.
That's why you're calling for
it.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's FEDUSA, Trade Union Federation, FEDUSA's President, Godfrey Silimatsila.